Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and having a great day. First up, Twitter's CEO Jack Dorsey has gone on record with his most daring support of Bitcoin yet, saying that it will become the world's single currency. Speaking to the Times while in London promoting his pro-crypto payment platform Square, Dorsey said a global shift towards cryptocurrency could happen sooner than 2028. That's the first time I'm actually hearing 2028 in any kind of context with cryptocurrency. The world ultimately will have a single currency. The internet will have a single currency, he said. I personally believe that it will be Bitcoin. His comments strike a contrast with current sentiment amid rumors Twitter will shortly follow in the steps of Facebook and Google to ban cryptocurrency advertisements. So this is, I'm a firm believer in paying attention to these people who make these statements, not because they are rich, but because of the people that they know. Not that they know something more than anyone else knows, but this is a very, very strong statement, and we've heard this from a lot of other people, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it, because you guys have heard me say before exactly who owns Bitcoin, who has a large stake in Bitcoin, and we know the large amount of it is owned by just several people around the world. So I'm not exactly sure how this would work out. I understand that Bitcoin is divisible. I got that. But so many of these really, really rich people have been coming forward saying that Bitcoin will be the #1 thing on the planet. And to say that it'll actually be the only currency on this planet of ours is kind of insane. I mean, I cannot tell the future, but 10 years is not a dramatic amount of time to say that we will have one single internet or currency in this entire world. I'm not sure exactly how all of you feel about that either. Next up, so we have news from Kik, who is trying to, I think, launch or working towards launching their ICO. They have announced that they will actually be using Stellar and Ethereum at the exact same time. Social messaging app Kik has announced it'll be doing just that with its KIN token, which allowed the company to raise $98 million in an ICO in September after some back and forth about which blockchain the company wanted to host its crypto token on. Kik has decided to use Ethereum, on which the tokens were first launched, for liquidity, and Stellar for transactions. The decision comes out only a few months after CoinDesk reported Kik was thinking about moving its token fully off of Ethereum and onto Stellar due to high transaction fees and slow confirmation times plaguing the Ethereum network, at which time they actually called Ethereum the dial-up era of blockchain. There were a lot of other projects that were also talking about leaving Ethereum over the last couple of months, but they've kind of all completely changed how they were talking about it. Now they're all staying on it. I think a couple have also moved to EOS over the last couple of weeks as well, but a lot of them are staying on Ethereum, and I think it could be because of the updates, and they probably know a bit more than we do as to when these things will probably roll out. So it seems that as such, users can imagine their KIN token being split into 2 equal parts, one that runs on Stellar and one that runs in Ethereum, using atomic swaps, an in-progress technology that allows cryptocurrencies to be traded across blockchains. The company will lock up a KIN token's Stellar half when it's ERC20, the Ethereum Center for Crypto Tokens, half leaves the app, and vice versa. This would be very interesting to see how quickly they are able to do this or implement this. I'm not exactly sure when they plan on launching their tokens, but a lot of projects seem to be riding on when Ethereum will finally be able to scale. We have no time frame for this, but the Ethereum people keep saying they were relatively close, but they will not give us a date. I want it to happen around this summer, but I expect it may happen a bit later. Would be nice if we can finally get this off the ground so everything can start moving. Next up, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, a global intergovernmental body, has called for agreement on new framework for the taxation of emerging technologies such as cryptocurrency. In a report sent to financial ministers and central bank regulators of the G20 member countries on Tuesday, the OECD said is looking to develop practical tools in building cooperation and examining tax consequences of new technologies such as cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology. The new effort, the organization said, will start immediately as part of a wider inclusive framework that the OECD is developing. The framework will receive another update in 2019 before being introduced by 2020. This is going to be a very significant year for crypto, for Bitcoin, for so many other coins. I'm going to get to the next story in 1 second, but I firmly believe that 2020, I'm not exactly sure what is going to happen in the world, but there's a lot of things that are going to happen on 2020. And I think this is finally, we have a lot of talk about regulation going on. And I think that this will actually be the year when we finally do see it. And you'll understand when I'm talking about that in 1 second. So G20, the summit, is finally over in regards to where nations now stand on cryptocurrencies. It is pretty firm that a July deadline has been put forward for recommendations on how to regulate cryptocurrencies globally. There was some general uptake and interest in approaching this hitherto unknown and confusing space, as countries had up until now been forging forward mostly on their own in terms of regulations. Super long story short, they literally have an entire list of not every single country, but the countries that were at the G20 and exactly how they have been dealing with cryptocurrencies and what they pretty much want to do with it. So it seems that in July, there will be some type of meeting or gathering between these countries where they will pretty much discuss what they think about cryptocurrencies, because they're completely lost. And I don't mean that as a joke. They are legitimately lost. They do not understand what they should do about this. I think they're looking for one country to kind of guide them forward, to kind of tell them exactly what should be done with cryptocurrencies. I think in July, it says baby steps. They will pretty much be talking about what they think should be done. I am without a doubt expecting some type of drop in the crypto market as we near July, simply because people are terrified for no apparent reason. If you read through all of this, there will be no ban unless Bitcoin hits $300,000 by the time we hit January and it destroys the actual traditional markets and world economy. There will be no ban on any of these cryptocurrencies, but just focusing on ICOs and exactly how to tax these things. But even then, like I said, this meeting will not be a complete handshake, signing papers for them to figure out exactly how to go about dealing with cryptocurrencies. None of this will be done, I'm more than certain, until probably 2020 or 2021 or 2022. For those who do not live in Europe, whenever it comes to signing laws or anything like that, it takes a long time unnecessarily for everything to kind of get through it. I think they're pretty much working on, we had news as well that there are European countries that are pretty much creating like groups and stuff like that, where people can kind of talk about blockchain and what it does and what cryptocurrencies would do and how this is working and what it does and what risks could this possibly pose to our stock market and this, et cetera, et cetera. They understand all this stuff already. I think they're trying to get a bit deeper and figure out it all comes down to taxation. Do not be fooled by any of this. They may say that they care about individual rights and they care about the consumer. They don't want them to be hurt. They do not care. There's so many other things that they have regulated that people are still taxed on that make people broke in a day and a half. Not to throw dirt on anyone or any country or anything, but we as adults, we understand how countries think. It all comes down to taxation. So I'm pretty sure in July just going to be a lot of talking about what is going to happen with cryptocurrencies. And I firmly believe by 2020, the crypto market will also have grown so much that this will be the point where they're kind of going to come forward and say exactly what is going to happen with all of these coins. Still not expecting any type of ban, but I think we may, in the next 2.5, maybe 3 years, receive some unwelcome regulations when it comes to all these things. But that's just my take on it from what I've been seeing and what I've been reading. But yeah, not to drag on, this is what's been going on for the rest of today. I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are, wherever you might be. I'm so glad that the G20 is over. I'm glad that prices haven't fallen. Fingers crossed. We didn't receive any major negative news except for exactly what I thought was going to happen. They just wanted to kind of have a discussion. They didn't really care about cryptocurrencies. We heard the other people say as well that cryptocurrencies is not on the top of their list. I think many European countries have also said this as well. They just kind of want to figure out how to tax all of these things. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you once again for all the support. And yeah, I will talk to you all soon. See you.